All right, it is that time of the year. 2023 is coming to a close. So, you know what that means? It is time for Top 10 List. And today, I'm going to be giving you my top 10 favorite films of 2023. It's been a great year for film. So, let's give you my thoughts on it right now. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Tyson, and we are here to talk about movies. That's right, we do movie reviews, movie trailer reactions. We cover major movie news on our Mint One podcast. We do movie rankings here, and of course, we do Oscar Mondays. So, with all that being said, make sure to check us out and subscribe. We are on the way to 1,000 subscribers, and I would love to have your guys' support as we go about that journey. But before I get into my top 10 here, I do want to say I'm coming up here on a year of doing this channel, and we are almost at around 500 subscribers. So I really appreciate you guys sticking around. And if you're new here, well, welcome. And, I hope you check out our content and subscribe, as I hope to grow this channel even more in 2024 with more incredible content. All right, 2023 is here. It was a great year for film. However, I haven't seen every single film. I haven't seen Wonka. I haven't seen the new Hunger Games. I sadly have not seen American Fiction. I really think I would love that film. I haven't seen Ferrari. I haven't seen The Iron Claw. I've been a little busy around this time of year specifically, but so I haven't caught every single film. So maybe that's why it's not in here. But also, it is just my favorites. It's based on my opinion. Let me know yours down below in the comments. Would love to have a good discussion with you guys down there. Just list off a few, list off all 10, or list off however many you want. It'll be great. And there will be more top 10 films here. I'll do top 10 worst films, top 10 anticipated for 2024, and more of that. But now, let's get into my top 10 favorite films of 2023. And number 10 is a film that I loved. It was something I didn't really know anything about, and it surprised me. And that is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Ever since I saw this film, it's been in my top 10. It's gone around in different areas, but it's always been there. And it's because I had so much fun watching this one. And it's a great group of characters, a great adventure film led by Chris Pine, who I think did a phenomenal job here. Very funny, very charismatic. Michelle Rodriguez also. I love their dynamic together. And I also love the surprise cameo of Bradley Cooper in here. But like I said, this one, I love the group of characters. It's a fun cast. Hugh Grant is phenomenal in this one, and I heard he's great in Wonka too. But he's phenomenal here. And I just remember looking back at this film and thinking how much of a fun adventure film this really was. So, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Creed 3. This is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut. And I love seeing his creative lens here behind the camera. He is a phenomenal actor. I love him in these Creed movies. I love the character of Adonis. And I like the relationship between him and Dame. They were childhood friends. Now they're enemies. They're fighting each other. Speaking of fighting, I love this end fight directed beautifully by Michael B. Jordan. And I know he took influence from anime, as he does love anime. And you see it in this final battle here. Or fight, I should say. And I love it. It was a breath of fresh air, I think, in a franchise, in a genre of boxing films that I think it needed something new. And it definitely was that new, interesting take. And he did that all throughout the film that I absolutely love. So Creed 3 here comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8 here, we have Anatomy of a Fall. And this is a film I knew had Oscar chances going into it. And coming out of it, I understood why. Sandra Hüller in here is phenomenal. She gives my favorite performance from an actress in this entire year. She is just breathtaking. She is so powerful, emotional. I was right there with her, and I loved it. The story is really simple, which I love too. It is about a woman here, and her husband falls off of their house. The question is, did she murder him? So did she do it or did she not do it? And you're asking yourself, throughout the entire film, specifically when they're in the courtroom itself. And it's just a great courtroom drama, a family drama too, because they have a child together, this husband and wife. And it has some of the best acting scenes in here too. There is a moment in this film between two actors where they have about 10 minutes of a fight, just a dialogue. And it is brilliant. Brilliant writing, brilliant acting, brilliant directing throughout that scene, the entire film as well, with a great supporting cast in here. Natalie Fall, it's brilliant. It's number 8. Coming in at number 7 is a film that surprised me. I thought knew what I was getting into. I didn't. It's phenomenal, and that is Godzilla Minus One. I thought it was kind of going to be like Universal's Godzilla. We've seen it before, and when we walk out of Universal's Godzilla or Kong movies, we're like, yeah, that was okay. Yeah, no, this film's way better than okay. Godzilla is just a monster. He really is a monster. He's not an anti-hero. He's a villain, and he just goes around killing and destroying. And most of the time when you see a Godzilla film, you don't really care about the humans. That's the boring part. This film, you care about the humans. It is interesting. It is full of emotion. These humans just went through World War II. They have gone out of one tragedy into another one. And when we get into the main human here and his story of loss and trying to find love and peace and how all of that is, and he feels like he was a coward during the war, and especially against Godzilla, and he's dealing with all this different trauma. I love the exploration we get of these characters. It's phenomenal. It makes this story, this movie, 10 times better. And Godzilla in here, like I said, is a villain. He is terrifying. The atomic breath scene and how that whole buildup is with the score behind it is phenomenal. It just blew me away, and upon rewatch, I could see it climbing higher in this list. So Godzilla Minus One is number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. Another Oscar film, I would say, this year. It's brilliant. It's phenomenal. Led by Paul Giamatti, who gives a brilliant performance in here. One of my favorites of this entire year. And it is just such a warm hug movie, which is how people are describing it. And I can see why I would agree with that sentiment. Amazing group of characters here. Amazing actors. Amazing performances. We, of course, have Paul Giamatti, but we also have a newcomer, Dominic Sessa, and Divine Joy Randolph is in here as well. Just a phenomenal cast. I love their chemistry together. Their characters are different, but yet have some same qualities, and I just love their dynamic together. I really do. So The Holdovers, a brilliant kind of classic Christmas movie to me now, and it's just a feel-good movie. Comes in at number 6. And now we are in the top 5. This is where it got a little tough for me, but starting off number 5, we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I love this movie. It's great. It changed my mind on what I thought animation could be. It upped the game once again, just like the first one. I love the story focus of Gwen Stacy here. I love also their character dynamics between Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, how they are at odds with each other sometimes. Brilliant work there. I love how Miles is becoming more of his own, deciding things on his own, doing things his way, sticking with them, and feeling like he belongs, knowing he belongs. Brilliant, brilliant character work here, and I love the voice acting as well. I think that really brings something to a film, and you can see it here. But the animation, like I said, it's a knockout. I mean, how you have different animation styles and what different universe you are in, and how it changes based on emotions, and a great point of that is for Gwen Stacy and her world and her character. It just is another dynamic of this movie that works for me and that changes the game of animation. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it is at part 1. It didn't bother me, bothered some people, but I didn't mind the ending. I liked it. So yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse comes in here at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the conclusion to this amazing trilogy that James Gunn has been the director of. And I love the way we said goodbye to these characters that we have known now for 9 years. And we cared so much about a raccoon because of how James Gunn did this film. I mean, the characters in here obviously are fantastic. We already know that. But the performances in here as well are great. Bradley Cooper's getting a lot of love from Maestro, but his voice work here for Rocket the raccoon, so good. He's now one of my favorite characters in the MCU. Just a great arc for him, but a great arc for all of these other characters too, saying their goodbyes to each other and to us. Phenomenal, with a phenomenal villain played by the High Evolutionary. my God, you love to hate him because you do hate him, especially with what he does to Rocket. My gosh, I've never one of the best villains I think the MCU has done, and I love with what they did with Gamora here, not really making her fall back in love with Star Lord, just kind of being an unlikable character, really. Adam Warlock, weakest part of the film, but we're not talking about that. Everything else is great. I love the music, love these characters. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, comes in at number 4. And now we are in the top 3, and at number 3, we have Air, directed by Ben Affleck. He is back in the director's seat, and he is phenomenal in doing that. He's also phenomenal establishing a great cast, because we got Matt Damon, obviously Ben Affleck, we got Viola Davis, Chris Messina, Chris Tucker, Jason Bateman. This is one of the best acting ensembles of the entire year, and of course it is about how the Air Jordans came to be at Nike, and I love it. It has one of my favorite acting scenes between Matt Damon and Viola Davis, and basically Matt Damon being like, here's what Nike can do for your son, but here's what your son's going to experience with all these other people who are going to be coming after him. And I just love that dynamic. I love that scene. I love these two actors. It's still one of my favorites, and every time I think of this film, I think of that. And I think that's why I love it so much, is because of how these actors made these performances. The story could be very typical and standard and kind of bland, but the performances make it as phenomenal as this movie is. So Air comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is a film I did not know anything about. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, but I walked out. I didn't have as much emotion in another film this year, and that is The Color Purple. This film is something special. The performances are incredible. Danielle Brooks, Taraji P. Henson, Danielle Brooks in here is phenomenal. She's one of my favorite supporting performances of the year. Taraji P. Henson is also great, but it's led by Fantasia Barrino, and she just gives a great. It is subtle performances, but yet it's powerful at the same time. And the pain you see her go through, your heart aches for her. And that pain is caused by Coleman Domingo's character, Mister. And Coleman Domingo, his character here, I hated him with a passion. And it was hard for me to watch scenes with him in it. And that's a testament to how great his acting was here. But the performances all around were phenomenal. It is a musical. The music in here worked for me. It did not feel kind of random. But once again, the emotion and the power that are in these performances that make this film so important to see, and especially a great film to see with a group of people, an audience. It makes it 10 times better. So The Color Purple comes in at number 2, a phenomenal, powerful, emotional film. Coming in at number 1, though, is a film that is just incredible, and every time I watch it, I can't believe it's real, and that is Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. This film is special. I can't believe really what was achieved on screen here with this one. It is still not my favorite Nolan, but it's a phenomenal piece of work here from him. It's a story about the making of the atomic bomb and J. Robert Oppenheimer. It's a 3-hour historical epic biopic, and it almost grossed $1 billion at the box office, which is crazy. That so many people wanted to go and check this film out. But it is just an interesting take on this story, an interesting take on how it is filmed in this script. The screenplay is a powerful piece. I love it so much. The performances in here, led by Cillian Murphy, who of course plays the leading role here in Oppenheimer. Robert Downey Jr. gives a stellar performance as Louis Strauss, the nemesis, I would say, to Oppenheimer. And I love their dynamic on screen. Their back and forth with each other are some of the best acting between two actors I have seen in a long time. And I love the way that their characters go and their division goes. And Emily Blunt, Matt Damon in here. We got Jason Clarke in here in the third act, which I think is great. We have Rami Malek, Gary Oldman, Josh Hartnett. There's just actors coming in here left and right. Kenneth Branagh. Such a great group. Florence Pugh as well. Such a great group of talent behind the camera and in front of it. And it is something that I don't think will ever be, done again in the biopic space. I'm just speechless about this film every single time because it's just such an achievement in filmmaking And it just makes it one of my favorite movies, I would say, that I have seen in a very long time. And of course, it's going to be my favorite in 2023. And I think it's got a pretty good shot at winning best picture here at the Oscars. I really do. So Oppenheimer, for me, comes in at number one for 2023. All right, with that being said, that is it. That's my list. What did you guys think? Let me know down below, and let me know your list down below as well. I'd love to have that conversation with you. I mean, this year in film has been a great one. I will be putting out more videos, like I said, on the top 10 worst movies of 2023. I will be talking about the year as a whole, and I will be giving my top 10 most anticipated for 2024. So, with all that said, guys, thank you so much for sticking around this year. And if you're new here, welcome once again. And check us out and subscribe. So, with all that being said, guys, my name is Tyson. Until the next one, I'll catch you then.